everybody, it's Sofia Wren, and I'm here today to help some sensitive, creative ladies who are feeling super overwhelmed again about all the things that they want to do, all the things that they want to create, all the places they want to go that they are not there yet. And especially if you're feeling down, like you can't do it, you don't know how, or maybe you just can't. Well, I have the thing for you. Now, you may have heard about vision boards in the past, but I'm going to explain it at a totally different level than you've ever seen before, because I'm all about building upon the past. You know, why make a new board each year and start from scratch? You know what I'm all about? Make one and build on it forever, because this is about creating something that's going to guide you, going to be a guidepost, going to be a big vision to get you in touch with that motivation and that passion and that why am I doing this? Why am I trying so hard? And you will always have that reminder. There's something really powerful about the sight, about images, and they hit us differently than just reading a description of our goals on a piece of paper. So it can also be a really great tool for you to get clear about what you want or what the most important thing is, because you only have a finite amount of space to work with here. You're gonna have to choose some things over other things. So it's a great exercise that you can take on any time of the year. You do not need to do it at the beginning of the year with New Year's like a lot of people do, like as a ritual. But you know what? It can be changed and adjusted any time of the year. And if you're saying like, Sophia, I don't really understand. I've made them in the past and stuff is stuck on there. Like, how do I get it off? What are you talking about? Well, I have a method to doing this that builds on itself. I'm using the exact same board that I used last year, and I totally changed it. So I will tell you my secrets. So first off, I just want to review the basics and add a little bit of pizzazz there too, with the material side. So first, of course, we're going to need to get some material objects to do this crafting project. So it's really nice to go ahead and just take some time and collect all these things and get ready to really dig in. So before you can dig in, we're going to need a few things. Now, two of them that always seem to hide when I'm trying to find them, as if they were partaking in some kind of plot against humanity to always be out of sight when they're needed, is the scissors, which you can just use any old kind as long as they're sharp enough to cut paper without tearing it. You also are going to want to have tape, and of course my little tape has succeeded in thwarting me today. So you're going to want to have that nearby so you can use it, and you don't want glue. Glue is bad news. I say no to glue because it messes up pictures and then you can't use them again, you know, because maybe you're taking a favorite clipping of yours that you used to have on your wall, or you used to do something else with, or you want to do something else with later, and you don't want to mess up something so valuable by gluing it, you know, because you want to be able to use it again. Tape is the way to go. Tape is great. You're going to want to go with like a brand of tape that you've used before, maybe to wrap presents or something that you know is pretty easy to tear and that you know kind of has that really smooth side that can easily like pop off things, you know. So just use your judgment. You're going to want it to be something that you can remove later on that is good enough to stay on now, but later on won't be a big PIA to take off. So that's important. Then of course you're going to need your poster board. I like the thick kind. It has like a little bit of like a styrofoam plastic in the middle. It's not just a one big sheet of floppy paper, and that has some oomph to it, and that makes it so that you can easily hang it up. And I'll show you how to do that. So go ahead. They always have them at like CVS and Rite Aids these days because kids make projects. You're also going to want to have some cool paper. I recommend some big sheets of paper that are colored. Like here's just a scrap of one that I kind of already cut off of. And I have like blue and green and red, and go for your favorites. Go for a variety. You know, I mean, if you want to do it all one color, you could, but I just think it's more fun to have some variety. They do have some really specialty ones at craft stores. I have a peacock one on my board right now. I got these at the store, meaning to use them, I never did. So I got like a super sparkly one and like a golden one. But you know, have an option, because when you lay it out, it might work or it might not. So have some basic ones, have some fancy ones, mix it up. So the reason why you want those, I'm going to explain in a moment. That's how you're going to be able to build on your board later on and adjust it through the year or over the years. Without it, it's not going to be, it's really going to be a big pain in the butt to do so. But because big sheet of paper, you can put a lot of different things on. you can just move that whole section around or change up the parts or cover it up later on, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. So don't forget to get big sheets of paper. Don't tape it without that. Okay, now we want to make sure that you have that extra pizzazz, that extra ability to really customize it, so that way you're not limited, and you're going to want to have some fun pens. And fun pens are lots of different colors, your favorite color. I love things that are sparkly and golden or silver or any kind of color that you want. They are really awesome. And so something I did with mine is I went ahead and I kind of customized it by writing these words with a gold pen. And see how shiny it is? It's pretty. And if you look, it's a paint pen. And the paint pens are the kind that you shake up, and you shake up, and then it has a lot more shine to it because it's actually made from paint. You could use gel ones too. In this purple one, I used a gel pen, but it just doesn't come out quite as thick as the paint pen does. So play around with your special markers. They're always good to have around for all kinds of things. And then of course you're going to want to have the pictures. And pictures are going to be from magazines that you could have around the house, or they could be things that you print off the computer. I rarely do that though, because you need to make sure you have really good ink quality. But I would get a big stack, you know, just go and load up on your favorites, but just check them out before you do so, because sometimes you have something that you've always enjoyed for reading, but you find out it's not really what you were looking for a vision board. So you might need to go find some especially for that. You could check them out at the library. Sometimes they have extra ones to give away, or just buy them, ask people for them. But for instance, like Vanity Fair has fantastic photos. It has really great photo quality, but the thing is that a lot of the good ones have like an ad on them, and then they're not really you know, I mean, if you want to have Gucci stuff on your board, then that could work. Oprah is a great one, and Oprah does really well with having like life-related images in their copy, but they also have really great headers. You know, like that's an important thing to look for this, because headers are where you're going to get like these big words that are going to really pop off of your board. Like, let's see what I got here. I have smart is beautiful, and I have pattern boldness. You know, those things really jumped out at me, and that's the kind of thing you want to look for as you're flipping. You do not want tabloids, because tabloids do not have thick enough paper, and they also have poor quality of photos. They will fade faster. They also don't have very good photos. I gave them a chance, but they just have a lot of people and a lot of story-related headers. They don't really make sense for a vision board. And finally, you're going to want a piece of string, because then you can hang up your board. So I'll show you how I did that. So by using this really thick board, it really stands on its own. Doesn't need a frame, doesn't need to be tacked onto the wall to stay straight. It will not get floppy. I just used some random string I had. Like, I don't even know who this is from. And what I did is I punched holes in two of the corners with just like the end of a pair of scissors. And you can do it two different ways. You can do it through the photo, like if you have an old photo, like this is from last year, and you just want to just poke a hole in it and tie the knot around. Or if you want to hide it, which is classy, and I realized that belatedly, you can just put it through the board and then cover it up with a piece of paper. So this is what I did with the big sheets here. This orange one I had last year, and I wanted to use it again because I had this really cool rose. And for me, roses symbolize love and beauty and wonder and happiness and joy and just sumptuous delights. And so I really wanted this here. And I recommend, if you're going to do any drawing, do not draw directly on your board, because then if you want to use it later for something else, you can't take it off. You're stuck with this really heavy background. I would recommend doing it on separate sheets of paper, because then you can I can just take this off if I want and just be like, shh. And what I did up here was I actually had a different sheet of paper right here in the middle where I put this rapids, and I decided, you know, I just want to create this whole space, and I just took this whole sheet of paper out, and then there was this whole big blank section right in here for me to fill with new stuff. So it makes it so easy when you use big sheets of paper. You can also just cover up the last one. You see this little hint of pink? That was last year's board, and last year I had a yin yang too, but I just wasn't digging the pink this time for the whole color structure of the new thing. So I put a new sheet of paper just right over it, because I had some, it just was easiest that way, you know? and you're just gonna play around, just layer it, put stuff under other things. And then these words that I've done, I really recommend doing words because you're not gonna find exactly what you're looking for in a magazine written by someone else. It's not going to speak your life. You're gonna find some things that really fit, but every single time I always think, oh, I'm looking for this thing, I'm looking for that thing, and I can't find it. Well, why be limited by whatever is in the media today? You can make up your own thing. This is about you expressing yourself. So that's why these colorful sheets of paper and the markers are so great to have, because they will make sure you're able to do so. I would recommend, rather than going for like material objects like a car or a house or something like that, I would really try to do the majority of your board with things that are feeling related, because when it's feeling related, we can get into that headspace and that emotional space, just enjoying our work of art that we created. We can get that. We can get that from the photos and from the words we put on our board right away, and that can inspire all the things that such a person has and does with that feeling. Like if you want to be successful, and that's why you want the big house and the nice car, then put success on your board. So simple, right? Course. So that's what I did. I just went ahead and I put all of these different words on here that really speak to me. Like by this leopard, I have lead and completion, and vision express, and those are words that really mean a lot to me, and they're really speaking to what I want to do this year. So I recommend taking a lot of time with those words and to put them on last. You're going to want to lay everything out with the big stuff on the bottom, of course. And then you're going to want to put everything on top, and then I would tape the bottom part. And if you can leave some of the words that maybe aren't quite totally there, just laying on the surface, give yourself a little time to play with it. I spent a couple months on this board. I don't know if you can tell, it's got a lot going on. I really did a lot of work on here, and I built on what I had last time. So I was really conscious and careful with it. And I'm really happy with what I have, because I didn't put down some things that were just sort of maybes. I really went back to anything that was like, for instance, lead here. I was inspired by this big cat, and like big cats are like the rulers of the animal kingdom. I said rule, but then I realized, like, I don't really want to be putting myself above other people. I want to be leading them, because I want people to be empowered too. So I changed it, and that's really important for it all to feel in sync with me right now. Hence why I'm emphasizing that you should do it so that you can move it around, because what's the point of completely redoing things when some things will carry on from year to year? This right here is a character from my mermaid novel. I'm not currently editing it because I'm editing this book called From Girl to Goddess. But this I want to come back to. I want to finish my book From Girl to Goddess, and I want to go back to my mermaid manuscript and edit that next, and I'm going to have my second book. So that's why this is still here. After a couple of years, I just love this picture. It reminds me of my character, reminds me of what I'm doing. I'm not taking that off until the book is done. So I hope this gave you a lot of ideas. And feel free to put into practice. You don't need to wait until the beginning of the year. You can do it whenever you want. If you have a vision board and you want to update it, or if you're really feeling overwhelmed and having trouble moving forward, it's great to just take a couple of steps. Just start to gather your supplies, or start to pick out a few photos you like. You can use scissors or X-Acto knives to take out the photos from the magazine. Sometimes the X-Acto knife really helps to get the full page if you want that. And that's all I got for you. I'm wrapping this up. So thank you so much, and have fun focusing on your dreams, bringing that into reality. And again, if you want more information on me, I'm at www.sofiawren.com, and I help sensitive and caring ladies who are struggling with overwhelm, drain, people-pleasing, guilt to say no and get more time for themselves, and trouble getting their dreams out of their head, to find their own perspective and to ask for what they need and know what they want and who they are. So I'm so happy to share this with you. Thanks for taking the time, and see you next time. Bye. La 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 la.